when Mick Channon angrily pointed at Martin Buchan and told him to fuck off after the 1976 FA Cup final. Many thought his career was over. But this moment actually shows us everything we need to know about one of football's most fascinating characters. Mick Channon didn't destroy his career with his famous outbursts. He built two incredible careers precisely because he never backed down from anyone. Born on a farm in Wiltshire, Channon learned what he called industrial language from his earliest days. This wasn't just swearing for the sake of it. This was a man who spoke his mind in a world that demanded fake smiles and careful words. Even as a 9-year-old showing love for Southampton, Channon displayed a complete indifference to authority figures who tried to impress him with their medals and status. His farm upbringing shaped everything about him. While other players worried about what managers thought, Channon had a different perspective. Growing up in the 1960s, he reasoned that if people could challenge the police and medical establishment, why couldn't footballers challenge their managers? This wasn't rebellion for rebellion's sake. This was a man who understood that respect had to be earned, not demanded. The most famous story about Channon's attitude comes from his manager, Lawrie McMenemy. During one heated half-time team talk, Channon allegedly cut his manager short with these words: "Gaffer, what you've got to understand is that this is just my hobby." McMenemy remembered that Channon and his teammates often showed up to training with Wellington boots covered in horse manure. Even then, football was just his day job. His real passion was already taking shape. What made Channon different from other maverick players of the 1970s was focus. Players like Stan Bowles and Rodney Marsh were brilliant but often self-destructive. They let gambling and drinking derail their careers. Channon's outside interest wasn't a distraction. It was a carefully planned future. While other players partied, Channon was learning about horses. While they wasted their talent, he was building expertise in a completely different field. If you're enjoying this story of how Channon's rebellious nature actually helped him succeed, make sure to subscribe and comment below about what you think made him different from other players of his era. I want to hear your thoughts on whether modern footballers could learn from his approach. The 1976 FA Cup final perfectly captures Channon's philosophy. Southampton, a second division team, faced the mighty Manchester United at Wembley. Nobody gave them a chance. When Bobby Stokes scored the winning goal in the 83rd minute, United's players immediately claimed it was offside. Captain Martin Buchan complained bitterly about the decision. Different people handled the controversy differently. Southampton captain Peter Rodriguez simply pulled out his winner's medal when asked about the offside claim. Manager Lawrie McMenemy got into annual arguments with Buchan at PFA dinners, but Channon's response was pure gold. When reporters asked him about United's complaints, he exploded. "Who gives a fuck, cheek? Don't ask me to feel sorry for Manchester United, for goodness sake. They get more things go their way than any other team in the league." Channon didn't stop there. He called Buchan lazy and said he never stopped whinging. This wasn't just anger talking. This was Channon's entire worldview on display. He believed that the only thing that matters in a cup final is winning, because no one ever remembers a loser. This unsentimental approach to competition would serve him well in both football and horse racing. The controversy showed Channon at his most authentic. While others tried to be diplomatic or politically correct, he spoke his truth. This moment wasn't career suicide, it was career definition. It showed the world that Channon would never compromise his beliefs for public approval or media acceptance. His football career was remarkable by any standard. Channon became Southampton's all-time leading scorer with 185 goals across 2 spells at the club. He earned 46 caps for England and scored 21 international goals. But here's the crazy part. Despite all those appearances, he holds the unique record of being the most capped England player never selected for a World Cup or European Championship squad. This wasn't bad luck or poor timing. This was the direct result of managers who couldn't handle his personality. This happened because Channon couldn't fake respect for managers he didn't believe in. Ron Greenwood dropped him from crucial qualifiers after disagreements. His spell at Manchester City proved that his independent nature didn't work in every environment. He scored 24 goals in 72 appearances, but never settled. Channon needed to be somewhere that appreciated his direct approach. That place was always Southampton. But football was never going to be enough for Channon. His transition to horse racing began with a £100 win on a £6 bet in 1970. He co-owned horses with Kevin Keegan, and even then, he saw racing as an escape from football's pressures. They would get drunk on champagne when their horses lost, showing that Channon understood how to handle both success and failure. What's remarkable is how early Channon started preparing for his second career. While still playing professional football, he was already learning the horse racing business from the ground up. This wasn't a retirement hobby or a celebrity vanity project. This was serious preparation for a complete career change that would require decades of dedication. In 1990, at age 42, Channon made a decision that shocked everyone. Instead of taking an easy job in football media or coaching, he started over completely. He set up Kingsdown stables with just 10 horses. This was a man who had been a football star choosing to become a beginner again in one of Britain's most traditional sports. The racing world was full of people who inherited their positions or bought their way in through family connections. Channon had none of that. Channon faced the same snobbery in racing that he had dealt with in football. People assumed you needed to be from an upper-class background to succeed as a trainer. His response was typically direct. People assume that you've got to have been a jockey or a public schoolboy to train horses, but that's a load of bollocks. The racing world would judge him by results, just like football had. The results were incredible. By 2002, Channon had trained over 100 winners. He earned Group 1 victories with horses like Piccolo, Toberg and Zafine. His most famous horse, Umzine, finished second 3 times in the prestigious Prix de l'Arc de Triomphe and earned nearly £4 million in prize money. Over his entire training career, Channon accumulated more than 2,500 winners and millions in prize money. He had built a second career that was just as successful as his first, proving that his winning mentality could transfer to any sport. His famous windmill celebration makes perfect sense when you understand his character. A windmill represents simple, honest, repetitive, hard work. That celebration was Channon's entire philosophy in one gesture. Success came from grinding it out day after day, without pretense or shortcuts. The windmill also symbolised his connection to his rural roots. While other players celebrated with flashy moves or borrowed celebrations from other sports, Channon's windmill was authentically him. It represented the farm boy who never forgot where he came from, even as he conquered 2 different professional sports. Even after retiring from training in 2022, Channon's rebellious spirit never faded. In 2023, he publicly boycotted betting on horse racing to protest new affordability checks. He called the rules nonsense and said it was crazy having someone telling you how much you can bet. At age 75, he was still fighting authority figures who tried to control his choices. Channon's resilience was tested by personal tragedy in 2008. A motorway accident killed his close friend Tim Corby and left Channon with a punctured lung, broken arm and fractured jaw. He needed metal plates fitted in his face. The accident left a massive scar on him, but it also reinforced his gratitude for life and his determination to keep working. His philosophy on football ownership reveals his anti-establishment stance perfectly. Channon believes clubs belong to the supporters and that directors, managers and players are just caretakers. This puts power with the people instead of the hierarchy. Even today, he's more comfortable discussing his family and horses than playing the celebrity game. What makes Channon's story so powerful is its consistency. From his farm upbringing to his horse racing success, he never changed who he was. While other athletes reinvent themselves for public relations, Channon stayed authentic. His industrial language and direct approach weren't character flaws. They were the foundation of everything he achieved. In an era of media-trained athletes and corporate speak, Channon stands out as the real deal. He proved that you don't need to play politics or fake respect to succeed. You just need to work harder than everyone else and stay true to your principles. His legacy isn't just about goals scored or races won. It's about showing that authenticity and hard work can overcome any obstacle. So before you go, let me ask you this. Do you think modern sport needs more characters like Mick Channon? Comment below and let me know if you believe his approach would work in today's game. And if this story inspired you, subscribe for more content about football's most fascinating personalities. Channon didn't destroy his career when he told Martin Buchan to fuck off. He showed the world exactly what made him special. He was a man who did things his way, won on his terms, and never apologised for being himself. That's not career destruction. That's career perfection.